right? Everybody, doesn't matter where you go, they all agree you shouldn't kill people. There is a universal sense of ethics, therefore there must be a universal source for ethics. That source is God. And the final one, the ontological argument, one of my favorites, says it's better to have something than to simply think of something, right? And if we say we can think of a perfect being or a greatest being, that's contradictory, because if I'm just thinking of it, that's not as good as actually having it. Therefore, if it's a greatest being, it must exist. And that is God. All right, we've looked at some worldviews. Did they? No, they must have skipped it. Remember, I tend to give you a little bit more than you need. Look at the quote on page 40. The Bible really does not argue for the existence of God, but merely assumes that God is and conclusively demonstrates his existence. I probably have not hit this point hard enough. There were 2 slides I put up here. It said the word presuppositions at the top. First one says that God is, Genesis 1:1. Second one says that God can be known, John 17:3. These are presuppositions. Do you guys know what presupposition means? I'm trying to think of a good example. When I say the word Junkanoo, what comes to your mind? Okay. Okay, costumes, music, drums, culture, parade. You have this preconceived idea that you attach to the word Junkanoo, right? These are your presuppositions. If you were to go to Cat Island and they were going to say, we're going to celebrate Junkanoo, and you walked out on the street and you found a bunch of middle-aged men chanting and walking like this, what would you say? What? Yeah, I'm at the wrong place here, wrong time or something. This can't be it. Because it doesn't match up with your presuppositions. Presuppositions are something everybody has. There's a lot of people today that want to think, I just come to the Bible and I just read it without any presuppositions. I just read it with a blank slate, just a clear mind. There's nothing in my mind. That never happens. We all have presuppositions. And in order to be a Christian, in order to call yourself a Christian, you must have these first 2. That God is and that God can be known. We start with that. And that's a big problem for a lot of atheists, for a lot of secular humanists, for people that want to enter into debate with you about the existence of God, because we already believe it. It's pre-assumed on our part that exists. This is one reason why I think God demands that we come to him by faith. You can't come to God by intellectually working your way towards him. How can you please God? You must please him by what? Faith. There is no other way that you can come to God apart from faith. And I think this is the one reason why for us to acknowledge our presuppositions is extremely important, because it is that which makes up our faith. Presupposition? Oh, asking me to spell is not a wise thing. Oh, no, presupposition. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's close. John 17:3. You remember it? What is eternal life? That you would know the one true God and his Son whom he sent, Jesus Christ. All right, we looked at some worldviews, and I know Andrea, she had a problem with your own God worldview. I have another video for you to watch here regarding a person's worldview, which we've already seen. But I want to highlight it because I want you to see the ramifications of believing these worldviews.
And when you die, you're not going to be surprised.
No. That wasn't why. They believed doctrine. They believed false doctrine. Completely different. This is a humanist. There is what? No reward for what? For suffering. Yeah. So if there's no reward after you die, if there's nothing after you die, what should you do? Oh yeah, enjoy yourself. I mean, sex, drugs, rock and roll, right? I mean, as much as possible. Would you want to stay at the low end of the ladder? No, you want to climb that executive ladder, right? You want to get to the number one. You want to get all the money, all the power, right? He gave us the worldview under a modern evolutionary biology. That helps make up his worldview. And Darwinism. When those are the tenets of his theology, when that makes up his base of his worldview, this was the result of it. He said one of the major problems with Christianity is that you need to suspend your rational mind. What do you think about that? He thinks, if we had him in class right now, he would look at you straight in the eye and he would say, "You're not thinking. You're foolish. Use your brain."
I mean, and they actually do this to college students?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I mean, yeah, you need to know there are far more colleges in the U.S. that teach this than teach anything Christian. There are far more people getting pumped through the realms of education that come out believing this than they do anything orthodox. What did Anselm say? I believe in order to understand. He understood that it's not that I come to God from the bottom up. Do you remember? I don't come from what man can see, what man can understand, and approach God from what my own eyes discern. I need to believe something first. I need a presupposition. And then I'll learn to understand. The world we live in today, tipped right upside down on its head. And I want you to experience this. I want you to encounter this because this is the world you live in. These are the types of things that we need to be educated of in order to interact with these people. Because it's not helpful for us to simply just say, well, you're crazy, or you just believe that. God has called us to love these people, to love those who look you straight in the eye and say, you're not thinking at all. You have to suspend your rational mind. You are called to love them.
And that's what America, fake friends school because it would upset other people. You know, some
Yeah.
they were thinking and then it's not fair to them, they say, you know, so they rationalize.
But the point I'm trying to make here is that your gut reaction, your just knee-jerk reaction is to, all right, I'm done with you, is to push them away. And what I want us to see is that that's not the right answer for Christians. We need to be aware of what's going on, and we need to still love these people and find a way to enter into the discussion in a loving way, to be upfront and to be honest, to say, you know what? I understand science. I love science. I love everything that you experience here, but I believe something that historically the Christians believed, and that was I have to approach God not from science, not from the bottom up. I have to believe something